Hey everyone, my name is Chris Lambert. On this channel, we talk Kanye West, and today we are talking the next evolution of the Yeezy Gap deal, and that is a menage-a-trois. They are bringing in Balenciaga, famed high-end Balenciaga, into this partnership between Gap and Yeezy to add another element to what is going on. And this is like a pretty huge deal in the fashion world to have a mashup that's not just two highbrow brands or like a streetwear brand and like Louis Vuitton, but it's the Gap and Balenciaga bridged together by Yeezy, which is just huge. So you can see that Ye earlier today posted part of the contract, which you see the Gap sign, Yeezy supply, Balenciaga. And then he took to Instagram and he's clearly excited about it as he posted all these photos. I think it's the most he's posted in a story in a day before. So you can see here the first article is from Glossy. It just talks about how, like collabs Balenciaga has taken part in with brands like Gucci and the Hacker Project. GQ fashion critic Rachel Tijian told Glossy this really fits into Kanye's original intention and mission statements, even before joining the Gap, to democratize fashion and also to change popular design at the level of Steve Jobs. You can see how he wants to do it. He's bringing in Demna. You may remember in 2015 when Ye was accepting the Video Vanguard Award, he compared himself to like Ford, Hughes, Disney, Jobs, and people are kind of laughing, and now look where we are. He's bringing in Demna as a sort of Joni Ivy. I should know how to say his name. This is him. He was the chief design officer for Apple and was responsible for essentially the main aesthetic of iMac, the G4 Cube, iPod, iPhone, iPad, MacBook, just 21st century technology. That was him. That was him and his designs, which is kind of like wild to think about, right? The impact that he has had. So this is the reference that we get in the story. He's taking his insane level of avant-garde fashion, credibility, and interest in design and combining it with Kanye's genius and the reach of the Gap. If you think about it, the way that the iPhone reconfigured the way everything looks to make everything so sleek and minimalist with those rounded corners, that's a level of change Ye wants to have. He wants people to have air conditioners in designs that are influenced by what he is doing at the Gap. I think Rachel very much understands Ye's mission and aesthetic, which is really cool. And then here we have Nicole Phillips for Vogue. Yeezy Gap Engineer by Balenciaga begins, which is the formal name for this. We're going to go over this article real fast. Nicole actually got some quotes from Ye and Demna. So Ye and Demna, who until recently went by their full names, Kanye West and Demna Gvasalia, are joining forces for a project at Gap. It is a vision come true to work with Gap and Demna, the creative director of Balenciaga, to make incredible product available to everyone at all times, Ye told Vogue. The collection brings together the world-famous rapper and creative and the hottest high-fashion brand on the planet right now via the ubiquitous American retailer. What a sentence. Demna's debut couture collection for Balenciaga last July was universally lauded as a triumph. And for a ready-to-wear follow-up, he partnered on a mini episode of The Simpsons, complete with a Paris red carpet premiere. Ye, meanwhile, signed a giant 10-year deal with Gap in 2020, and though only a couple of items have been released so far, it's attracted off-the-charts level of attention. When it first went on sale last summer, the $200 round jacket crashed Gap's website and instantly sold out. Now there's a red one on offer at the reseller goat.com for $7,800. Collaborations have become the lingua franca of the fashion world. See Fendi and Versace's Versace Fendaci. Oh my God. I can't even pronounce nothing. Can you pass that Versace? Indeed, see Balenciaga and Gucci's fall 2021 hacking, which was the thing in the first story, right? The Hacker Project. Activation, but Ye and Demna see this differently. Officially, the project is called Yeezy Gap Engineer by Balenciaga. If that doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, it won't be long before it does. True. Because come on, Balenciaga at Gap prices. Demna clarifies, this is a very different challenge. I've always appreciated the utilitarianism and the accessibility of Gap. I share some of the same sensibilities in my creative language. This project allowed me to join forces with Ye to create utilitarian fashion for all. Ye and Demna's sensibilities have long been aligned. Demna says there's a certain urban minimalism and poetry in our aesthetics, also a desire to push boundaries. But in the last few months, the two have been priming the engineer by pump. Demna creative directed the stage sets and live streams of Ye's recent Donda listening events in Atlanta and Chicago and designed the t-shirt merch sold at them, which I wasn't necessarily a fan of the listening party merch. Ye, for his part, has become Balenciaga's biggest client. Just 6 days ago, he was spotted at the brand's Miami boutique with armfuls of shopping bags. Yeah. And then, I mean, even at the start of Ye's story here, it's Julia Fox walking in all Balenciaga. So you have that going on too. Almost done. The first Yeezy Gap Engineer by Balenciaga drop is expected in June, with the second later in the year, and who knows? So June is when we should look for the first part of this, which was actually the period that we were looking last year for the first Yeezy Gap drop. So June seems to be the hot period. Maybe there'll be more down the line. Says Demna, there are very few people that I know, especially of Ye's caliber, who really understand my work so well. He makes me come out of my comfort zone and be a better designer. There's no ego when we collaborate, just a mutual drive to evolve and do something great and new. And this is the official logo, of course. So it's the Yeezy Gap logo with the Gap look, Yeezy or Gap font, I do believe, or Yeezy fonts. But instead of being blue, how it was when Yeezy Gap was first announced, it's black, given Balenciaga's proneness, I guess, or preference to the black aesthetic. So you have that, and then going over to the next piece, New York Times writing, what the project means in general, though, is simpler to parse. Oh no. A collective meltdown among hypebeasts and hot coutures alike, and good things for Gap, which is once again all over the news even before any actual products have been revealed. Ye may not have made a lot of stuff in year 1.5 of his 10-year deal with Gap, but he has made a lot of marketing noise, which may be worth the investment. That's very true. Both Ye and Demna have been geniuses at creating and cultivating their own notions of community, breaking down old silos and stereotypes, and what they represent together will be more than the sum of their parts. The potential variety of who will buy into their world is enormous, and if the cost of citizenship is a t-shirt or a carrier bag, well, expect it to sell out. The actual object is almost beside the point. What matters is what it represents in terms of a value system as espoused by the creators and their ability to crystallize a moment in social evolution. Each object is a potential artifact. This beautiful writing for like a fashion announcement, like very well done by whoever the author was there. And then you can see Hypebeast just making the announcement, and you can see it talks about the Yeezy Gap continues to shock as news is just broke. It made me wonder how this has affected the stock price. And you can see here, dating back some years, actually we can go max, right? So this is the early 90s, like 90s into mid 90s, and then right at the end of the 90s you have this boom in Gap stock, right? It reaches the highest it's ever reached, was $40-some a share, but then quickly starts coming down, especially as you start getting into the middle of the century, dropping lower and lower until it just kind of stagnates in that $20 range. And then for some reason around 2012, 2013, they have this revitalization of the brand. It gets hot again, back up into the $40 range, and then drops and drops. And right before the Yeezy Gap deal, it's reaching like the lowest points it's ever reached. We're talking down under the $20, not the lowest points it's ever reached, but the lowest point since like the start of the century, right? And it kind of craters out in the $7 range, which is just like so low for a company that had been doing really well for 3 decades at that point. And then they announced Yeezy Gap on June 9th. So you can see here, June 5th, it's at $12. And then by July, it's at, June 5th, it's at 12. Yeah, July 12, October 18, like 24, it starts going back up and up and up, especially in anticipation of the first Yeezy Gap drop. It hit all the way up to the $30 mark and then has been kind of dropping down again as nothing else has really been happening. So we'll see where the stock is at in the aftermath of this announcement, and especially as the product starts to roll. I guess if you're a stock person, you might expect a similar trend of the stock to kind of pick up and maybe peak around that June period when the first Yeezy Gap Engineer by Balenciaga pieces drop. So we have the Hypebeast article. W Magazine has something. So what will Yeezy Gap Engineer by Balenciaga look like? The only hint so far is Demna's description of the pair's creative synergy, which is just the urban minimalism and poetry that they talk about before. So no idea what that means. I'm guessing the color will be black. Seems to be a safe bet given what we've seen from the duo so far in terms of the second Atlanta listening party, the Chicago listening party, just what Ye has been wearing. All the Balenciaga has been buying has been blacked out. Balenciaga is teaming up with Ye for Yeezy, so this is WWD, and then Vogue Business talks about it as well. Billboard talking about it. ID talking about it. And then Ye, you can see he even went on Twitter, but he's not logged in, right? It's saying log in, sign up. So he's accessing from a web browser, which means he wasn't actually on his account. But whatever account posted this got featured in Ye's Instagram story. And then, of course, we have this one, which is just high snobiety. Yeah. Ye and Demna's bromance peaks with Yeezy Gap, engineered by Balenciaga. And that is it for the stories. But if you don't know about Demna at this point, which I imagine most people watching the channel probably do, but Demna was the creative director, or is the creative director of Balenciaga, and co-founded Vetements, which Vetements started in 2014 and became this like huge streetwear brand, and was a really big deal. And he stepped down in 2019. He joined Balenciaga in 2015, and there's a tweet that people keep bringing up where Ye, I think in 2015 or 2016, tweeted out that he was going to steal Demna for Balenciaga. And now here, like, you can see that they're finally working together, which just seems like something the duo have been angling for a long time. They've been friends for a minute as well, so this isn't something recent. This is a kind of a friendship partnership that dates back almost a decade. So yeah, pretty incredible to see like two powerhouses in the fashion world coming together like this, and what the result will be, what the price points will be, what the clothes will actually look like, if it's going to go beyond clothes into just like bags. Will we have a Balenciaga Yeezy shoe that comes out? Like, whew, this is going to be an exciting year in terms of the fashion aspects of this. And I'm pretty sure there were photos that somebody posted on social media, though I know Kanye's not going to have those on his Instagram, but I'll find that later and include it in some video. But I guess that's it for now. We'll continue to keep you updated as more information about Yeezy Gap, as engineered by Balenciaga, makes its debut into the world. So that's it. Until next time, stay wavy and keep it loopy. Cheers.